All right, so let's start. Thank you everyone for joining the call. We're having a webinar, introducing vibe coding in healthcare solution, how you can build it. Uh, I'm going to start with an introduction and introduce our special guest here today. So this is Abdul Moiz. I'm an AI product manager and solution consultant in Folio 3. I've been working in digital health industry for around 8 years now, and my primarily job is to help bridging the gap between technology and healthcare. So I bring expertise in building clinical solution, from practice management to PACS and radiology, medical device integration, and particularly in EMR EHR integrations from Epic, Cerner, Athena, and so many other. So yeah, that's a bit about myself. And I see one of my teammates has joined. Hey Rob.
Hey guys, my apologies. So you've introduced yourself. Are you going to advance the slides to my beautiful picture?
Sure. Yeah.
So nice to meet everybody. Apologies, my brain's a little bit impaired. I stepped on a stingray in Huntington Beach about 3 days ago. Not something I would recommend. Appreciate you all joining. Simply put, I think AI is a game changer. I've been in ERP my entire life and in the software world, and never before has this been possible to have non-technical people easily communicate their ideas and in fact develop their own sort of prototypes and in some cases fully operational systems by speaking plain English language into a generator. So super excited for it, and appreciate everyone's time being here.
So Rob, we have Brandon from Replit. He's our guest.
Excellent. And Replit being a fantastic tool that we're invested in and partnered. So perhaps, yeah, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell all the good people what it is that you have by way of goodies for them.
Yeah, sure thing. So my name is Brandon Middleton, and I lead education here at Replit. So university professors focus on healthcare and life sciences, in addition to other departments within a college and university setting. I talk to K through 12 school districts and nonprofits that focus on STEM and CS and AI. Been in the Bay Area here for about 21 years, originally from the Midwest, and really excited to help you all dig into kind of the idea that you could take non-technical personas and have them actually building fully functional and useful software in the healthcare and life sciences use cases. Yeah, if you're interested in signing up for an account on Replit, I've got the ability to upgrade any free account up to the next tier of core for free for anybody that wants to take me up on that offer here on the call. Really excited to be with you all today.
If I forget to ask you, Brandon, I'm interested.
You count me in as well.
That's a brilliant offer for anybody joining this. I would certainly take advantage. So, I mean, vibe coding, I call it vibe coding, the new approach. You know that it's future proof if I can use it myself, which I actually have done by definition, right? I think most of us know that's just level set and make sure that we're all on the same page. I mean, essentially you describe the app you want in plain English and the AI builds it for you. What's the benefit for digital health, or indeed anybody who applies it? I think speed is huge. Like, you could build useful tools in minutes, not months, and a single individual can, it just never used to happen. You have individual teams handing off handing off through various stages, right? Design specs, and then wireframes, and then build, and then test. Now one person can carry it all the way through, and I think it's very empowering. No disrespect to anybody in the IT department here, but sometimes there's a gap between the backlog of things they need to do and how they can service an organization. AI now enables people to not only create things themselves, but also, I think, in a quicker, even more better, in a better way than ever before possible, articulate what they would like to see, because they can create a beautiful prototype. So it's a hugely advantageous development, with good vibes, if I may. So, I mean, and you know, I think we see it creating a bit of a even not so quiet anymore revolution within the enterprise. Most of the customers we talk to now have taken the approach of, hey, nobody's really an expert, and the best thing to do is jump in and start working and start using it. You know, and that's in fact how we like to do our development with these tools, very iteratively, right? So and how is this different? Well, I think we just touched on it, right? It's super fast. You don't have to be technical, and you know, you can describe what you want in, you know, plain English. Although, as we're going to find out, there's some tricks and tips to that. And I know personally, I had some limits until I kind of knew what I didn't know. Using my plain English, there are tricks, there are ways you can do it. Don't just use an AI tool like it's Google and ask simple things and get simple things back. Get as complicated as you want, and it just increases the value of what you produce. So yeah, I'd move on from that slide. So at Replit, now I can't just explain what Replit is with an actual Replit educator on this call. So either he needs to do this or Abdul needs to do this.
Yeah, I'm
Brandon,
happy to.
yeah.
Yeah, if you've never heard of Replit before today, we're a 10-year-old company. We actually just celebrated our 10th birthday a couple weeks back and just gave away Replit for free for anybody who wanted to use it for 24 hours this past weekend, and had hundreds of thousands of people log in and essentially speak English to our Replit agent and have that translated into websites, video animations, slide decks, data visualizations, all kinds of software over the last couple of days here. The key features of the platform is that it's browser based, so that you can just go into your Chrome browser and type into the URL replit.com. And once you've signed up for an account, you can start talking to Agent, which you see Agent 4 is the latest rev of the agent. And essentially, Agent kind of sits on top of Google models and OpenAI models and Anthropic models. And depending on what you want to do, the Replit agent will transform that English or that Hindi or that Spanish into, you know, a command and a set of instructions for those models underneath to follow to produce the actual software that you're looking to produce. And again, there's no setup really. If you've got a laptop or even like a mobile phone, there's a Replit app, so that if you want to start something from your laptop and don't get on the train or get in your car, you could totally whip out your phone and update that slide deck from V1 to V2. You can be kind of mobile. I've been in airplanes on crappy like airplane Wi-Fi updating, you know, Replit apps from 30,000 feet in the air. So it's really cool that there's a mobile device and a laptop way to do it. You can build fully functional apps. So you've got database and storage tiers and auth and users that you can provision. So think of this as a fully integrated way to build anything that's consumer facing or even corporate facing. We've got lots of integrations with the companies that you know and love on both the consumer and the B2B side. So Dropbox apps and Slack and different things on the consumer side, just as well as Databricks and Snowflake and Salesforce and other like more enterprise and corporate connectors too. And then after you're finished like building your application, you can actually deploy it. So all of the URLs and the hosting and the DNS and all the tech stuff underneath is abstracted so that users can just select the URL that they want and then push publish. And then you can start to take any public deployment that you have created and start to share it with your colleagues, share it with your family, share it with your students. In my case, I'm a teacher. And then there's real-time collaboration, so that moment of going from Word and Excel to maybe like Docs and Sheets for the first time, where you could like be in a document and invite 2, 3, 4, 5 people to collaborate with something on you. You can do that with Replit as well. Not have to just one-to-one create software, but you can actually collaboratively create these pieces of software as well. So that's an overview of what Replit's all about. I'll be quiet for now and throw it back to Abdul and Robert.
That's awesome. Thanks, Brandon. So we are going to do this today. We are going to build an AI-powered scheduling solution for a health practice. For real. We are going to actually do I'm still amazed at it, and I've seen it already. So, some of the challenges in healthcare scheduling, we're trying to avoid patient no-shows and cancellations. That's the whole reason that we're doing this. Unfortunately, the booking processes that are manual are quite inefficient. They're subject to problems just from anything that's manual, but also it's not very empowering for people. And I think most people, consumers today, expect to be able to go to a tool and self-serve. I'm still amazed. You go to a fast food place, you've got a thing, you stand at a kiosk and actually enter it, and people would actually prefer that now than talking to somebody, oddly enough, right? There's a huge administrative burden to the scheduling process. I think end to end, it's just painful, and it needs to be automated. So those are the challenges. Hopefully most of the audience is shaking their head in agreement here. So that's what we're trying to do. So the goal here, we want to create something that the core functions, right? We want smart scheduling. We want to provide information on the doctors and the available time slots they have. We want the appointment confirmation to be instant. I live up in Canada. Trust me, you cannot get an appointment with a doctor. And if you can, it's certainly not going to be immediate. So this is huge. And, we're going to enable voice-based interaction as well. So again, just removing all the barriers for pain. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's get at it. That's what we do here in AI. We just start doing things and creating value.
So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. All right, let me know if it's visible.
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so a couple of things that you can do, in building an application. As everyone mentioned that you can simply go to Replit and you can start writing in a simple English words or any other language. You can start even speaking and talk about it, that what needs to be built, and Replit is going to build that. What we have found, the best ideal model is to bring your ideas, jot down it, and share it with one of the large LLMs, right? Whether it's a Chat GPT or Claude or something else, and you can share your summarized bullet points with them, and it can actually help you in building that thing. So what I'm going to do is I've written, while Robert and Brandon were talking, I wrote up these details. So I'm going to give some bullet points to the application where I'm explaining that, hey, act as an expert developer and generate a super prompt for Replit and building XYZ. So I gave 4 or 5 bullet points and explain him that, you need to generate a super prompt, and also mention you need to, do it for Replit. That's the tool. So now, because LLM has, vast knowledge of all the tools and details, along with the guidelines and documentation, that what's the right approach to create a prompt. So they're using it, and it's building a detailed prompt for me. And now it actually has generated, and it has given me a detailed spec document or product requirement document kind of a thing. So I'm going to simply copy paste these details, and we'll come back to it. I'll go to Replit and I'll paste it here. So now it has all the details, which I just copy pasted with details and everything. And I'm going to click on the website here, because I want to create a web app, and I'll click on the plan button. So I'll talk about this plan button in a minute once I start it. All right. So what it does. Sorry, you were saying, Robert, something.
Well, I was just going to say, I made a comment about this when I first started at some point earlier when I was talking about when I first started using AI tools. It was new to me completely, and I realized I lacked a lot of context in it, and like I would make very simple prompts and I would not engineer them very well, and I was getting the results commensurate with that. So I just thought maybe, like, for instance, never would have thought of, telling the AI engine to act as a expert coder or whatever the case may be, to take on a certain persona. So I just wanted, if you could just talk a little bit about that, because you're experienced, you've got some knowledge, but this isn't commonplace knowledge for a lot of people. So any tips, tricks on that would be useful, I think, to the audience.
Yeah, I think the best part here is to make the most of an LLM, right? And the idea is to give them a specific role, and this is something that I was able to find very helpful. I tell them, hey, you have to build an application, so act as a software engineer, and if you have to write a budgeting plan, so act as a chief financial officer, right? So in that case, you are actually helping that LLM, and you're guiding that LLM that you need to be in that certain role so they can perform to their best optimal performance. And that's what I did. I actually gave them a role so it can give me those details. And now, once I copied it, it's actually created a plan. Replit is actually telling me that, hey, what I'm going to do and why, what duns are going to look like in terms of features, what are out of scope options, no external integrations, and what technical steps Replit is going to take to build it. So, without any further ado, I'm going to close app testing and optimization. By the way, there are some external options. You want to build a light app, economy, or powerful application. You select the mode and you use that. I'm going to use an economy mode, and then let's start the application.
Let me just
So,
call out you that it's super important to make the distinction between just being in the mode of generating ideas versus having a very specific idea in your mind of what you want to build, and you having the subject matter expertise to actually describe in detail what that looks like. So don't mix up kind of the generation pre-ideation phase with the kind of execution steer towards what you want phase. You can use Replit and kind of LLMs across both. But again, to your point about giving it a role and being specific, if you know what it is that you want, be very descriptive and you'll get to the definition of done and the definition of what good looks like a lot faster that way.
that's absolutely correct. I completely agree with you, Brandon. All right. So yeah, as you can see, it has started building it. It's doing some CSN and technical stuff. While it's doing it, let's go back to the prompt, which was actually generated by ChatGPT. So I started with a brief intro that generate a prompt, create a lightweight, smart application. It should have scheduling feature, booking, rebooking, intuitive light dashboard design. Some dummy data to be added, and then keep it simple with a good UI UX. And it actually created a very detailed prompt for Replit, where I'm acting as a full stack developer. Uh, Appointment scheduling along with details which actually mention that what data needs to be captured with patient name, age, gender, phone, and XYZ. A light dashboard along with details. So I did not give these details. Now it's very surprising to see that how it's adding these details, the total appointment booked, completed appointments, revenue generated on all these details, which I did not think through, right? Doctor's availability, some of the departments, uh, it has even added some dummy data along with details, some doctor names, their slots, their speciality, and then better UX, UI requirements, some layout consideration, demo friendly behavior, revenue logic, and XYZ. And it has given some important details, do not ask follow up questions, make reasonable assumptions. So at this point, although I'm a product manager, but anyone who is a technical or non-technical person, they can use these tools. They don't even need a separate requirement document or an expert product manager. If they're very clear what they want to be built, they can simply just write their prompt, and they can use an LLM with its full potential to get the document generated. And that's what I did here.
And what you're looking at is, I mean, in non-technical jargon, is like a specification for a product. It's a digital product. It's a piece of
Yeah.
software. But in the world of like product management, for example, there's a product requirements document, or a PRD, that lots of engineers and product people typically go back and forth on. And it looks a lot like this. It's an organized document that gives exactly the inputs in order to get to the outputs of what you have in your mind's eye. So the idea that an LLM can actually produce, your specific PRD just with a couple of sentences worth of description is a game-changing and really powerful idea.
Absolutely.
So one question for you, Moiz, that is coming up is, how, like, I assume that you're going to build this thing out over time, and it's an iterative endeavor. And people, do you think it's more important that you sort of get doing it, versus trying to be perfect from the start? Or like, do you want smaller prompts that you work with over time, or one big super prompt? Like, what's your experience? What would you recommend to people?
So that's a very good question. And to be honest, there is no right or wrong answer here. That totally depends on the approach. But one of the approach that is recommended is, you give all the clear, defined requirements into a single prompt and get a bigger super prompt, right? Once you give all the requirements, the detailed prompt can be shared with the Replit or white coding tool, and the structure or the agent inside the white coding tool actually starts scaling up and creating the architecture of the application accordingly. So obviously you can start with small features as well, small bullet points or short features, but the recommended approach is to give a long, precise and detailed prompt with all the requirements. That's a good idea to start with.
Mhm.
Okay.
And what's happening here is a lot of ideas are racing to market from non-technical people. So to the extent that you can like build a prototype that you can actually test out in the open market to see if your users will validate your idea as something that's useful enough to have them pay money for. I always like let people know that if anybody can create software, then all these new markets are opening up, and there's so many people and so many ideas racing to market. So depending on the use case, it might be better to ship something that's 85, 90% done versus 98, 99% done, because timing is now a very important issue these days.
Yep, that's very true, and I think that's where the concept of MVP comes in. You create the minimum viable product, right? You start with that. You take the main parts of your product, which are the core of your product. You start with that. You bring it to the customers or your users. You test it, and then you iterate and refine it. So very important point, Brandon. Thanks for bringing it up. All right, so while it's still working, it's been, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes hardly, or even less than that. It has given us a brief structure of how, you know, easily an AI can build the application. And as you can see, it has, the book an appointment button, a very small dashboard, very precise dashboard with, details on top. It has appointment management, and it has actually added seed data of patients, which there was nothing in prompt as well. So patient name along with details, and then you can see the appointment booked, completed, cancelled, and XYZ rescheduled as well. Great. And on the right side, there's a card with doctors availability in different departments, dermatology, uh, neurology, and emergency. Great. Okay. Psychologically. All right. So that's the beauty of the vibe coding tools. You see how powerful an AI agent can be. With a simple few points, you're able to build an application within a few minutes, which previously used to take, I don't know, maybe a couple of days for a developer to build it up.
Yeah, I tell the story of when the iPhone first came out, 2007, App Store came out next year, 2008. My first iPhone app that I built took 9 months and like 3 developers meeting every weekend, outside of our software engineer jobs to do. That exact same idea. I had a PRD from like 2009 that I fed into these systems of today, and within 48 hours, the whole thing was done. So like you take 9 months down to literally 2 days, and that's exactly the kind of productivity that we're giving people, and the idea that somebody who's non-technical could actually do something like that in that short of a span of time is a really, really cool thing.
That's a game changer. That's a game changer. So, so Robert, we can take some questions if there are any in the chat while it's running the code and completing the task.
Yeah. So, I mean, respect to the Replit people, are there tools? So, as far as tools go, there are less I want to say capable, or tools that you might choose when you're not as concerned about a corporate ready thing. I'm just like, the question is sort of like, are there, do you match tools to scenarios, and if so, what are they? Or are most of the tools pretty capable across the different applications you're trying to build?
I could take this question. I mean, if you were to open up a new tab and just go to replit.com, different people have been coming to all of the kind of creation platforms and AI platforms for a bunch of different things. So you see on the bottom underneath the chat panel that there's website, that there's mobile, that there's games and designs and slides, and you can click and click and click. And there's different kinds of what we at Replit call artifacts. So, if you're very technical and you're wanting to build something that's fully fledged, kind of full baked application, then you can go to Replit to get started there. If you wanted to export what you've built in Replit to a developer tool like GitHub, popular repo for people to keep their code and open source it, you can totally do that. But then for people who might have started on maybe design tools where you're doing a bunch of just mock-ups and prototyping in like Figma or Canva, or like making images and stuff like that, the idea that we can do that now from Replit as well. And if you know what you want to design before you actually put the prompt in, you could even click one of these things like the slide button or the mobile button, and it'll append that to your prompt to just steer the models underneath towards that particular artifact type. So we've got the ability to handle more and more and more of what people want to build, so that Replit is the one-stop shop for it. But we often, I often am using all the different tools for my workflows, always be testing and always be trying to figure out the capabilities, not just within Replit, but across the industry. It's a full-time job and a half. If anybody's figured that out, please email me to the side, like how to stay in keeping their arms around all of this stuff that's coming out every single day and every single week.
Oh, thanks, Brandon. So while you were talking, I see, it took, oh, that's great. You guys see, it took 9 minutes to build this application, and we spent 9 minutes talking, and that's surprising, right? So let's see what Replit has built so far. All right, we see a dashboard, few cards with total appointments booked, completed, canceled, revenue, and estimated upcoming. That's uh something. Some of the appointments here. Let me actually close this. All right, let's see this. Some of the appointments with patient data. I can actually go to this one. Oh, that's nice. Great. So there's some dummy data, and I like to change it to Sophie Adams, let's say. And if I update it, and it actually updated it. That's very cool. So that's there. I can go back to appointment. Great. I can delete it. So you see all these functionalities. This is something which I did not give, and I can search this with Sophie, and it's doing that. I can search department wise, and all the data is being filtered. That's really cool. On the right side, status, doctors, and let's see if I can book an appointment. So I'm gonna write Abdul. Here's my name. I'm gonna select, let's say, orthopedics, male, age 31. Oh, okay. It's showing me three doctors. So if I try to change neurology, okay, so that's the beauty. It has mapped doctors with departments on the back end, and I'm selecting dermatology, and it's giving me Dr. Priya. But when I select emergency, it gives me Dr. Tom. So that's interesting, and it's showing me that Dr. Tom is available on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 to 6. All right, I'm gonna write a number. Let's do that. Email. Let's select a date for Friday. Let's set a time for, I don't know, 12. That's booked. Fee, and then optional loads. Let's say knee injury. All right. And if I click here, and oh, that's great. So you can see that Abdul Moiz is there, and the appointment has been booked. And so yeah, that's very nice. It took like 9 minutes to book this and get this thing up and running. So
If
yeah,
you
that's
actually if you click that checkpoint, and then click into any of the, there's a little bit more information that's hiding behind each of those events. So in this case, checkpoint, if we were to make more prompts after this and want to roll back and say, hey, I don't like what just happened, and I want to come back to this particular checkpoint and start the software off from a few prompts ago, you can always do that. And if you click the work for 9 minutes, it'll show you the amount of code that was written, the actual economics, like how much it actually cost to execute and do the prompt that you just asked for. So you can treat this sidebar as your stream of consciousness going back and forth with the agent, as well as if you wanted to look under the hood and actually get an understanding of its reasoning and the way that it planned out the work that you asked it to do, and the amount of code and the amount of money that you're spending per interaction. We try to make that very transparent and easy for you to understand. And if you want to get super technical, if you go to the right of the blue publish button, on the top right of the screen, if you click over to the right of it, that next icon over, and click the file tree, you'll see all of the different artifacts, or all the different like files that are created as a result of what you asked for. So if you click like that JSON file or that YAML file, for example, TS config, let's say JSON on the bottom of that list, it'll show you the makeup of any of those files. And if you are technical, you could totally like go in and like modify it yourself, as opposed to going to the left side and asking in English or Spanish or whatever language you're in to modify it that way. So for the people who are tech curious, we also do give you the ability to modify the files directly before you make your publishes and your changes.
And I think that's where this tool capability comes in. For a non-technical person, they don't even have to care about these technical details, how the code is being written, what's the tech stack and everything. They can just simply build something around it. And if they want to later on make it scalable, take it further to some external integrations, deploy it in healthcare, or make it comply with HIPAA compliance and healthcare compliances, then obviously there's something that's where the subject matter experts of that specific industry comes in, like companies like Folio 3 and other companies who have expertise in digital health. They come in, they have the expertise to take these code, these details, deploy it, and make these production ready application, and take it to a next level where you can deploy it easily with a make it a HIPAA compliant application and deploy it in a hospital or a healthcare system very easily.
Yeah. So I see a question that came in, and I see a few of them actually. So maybe I could take one question and I'll pass it back over to you. What's
Sure.
up? He asks, if each attendee on this call feeds in the exact same prompt into Replit, will different versions of that prompt be created? So there's a little bit of variability. So I, in my teaching, for example, have given students example prompts, and if they put in the exact same thing, like the color schemes and like some of the layouts, when you're designing a website or like a prototype for an app, I have found in my personal use that the exact same prompt does yield kind of a different design, and that every single student will not get the exact same thing, even if you give them the exact same prompt. So yeah, as you have probably found with a lot of these systems, they are what are called non-deterministic. So it's like you put something in, and the thing that you get out, you can't reverse engineer it all the way and guarantee that you will get the exact same thing every single time. So yes, to that question, you'll get a little bit of variability if you were to even copy the exact same prompt across 3, 4, 5, 6 different people.
That's really good. So while we are taking questions, I'm going to take a pause here, and I'll tell you that what I did here. So a basic application structure is already there. Now, as a next step, I'm trying to add a conversational voice agent here. So what I did here is I again, while Brandon, you were answering question, I was able to write some prompt, and then I gave it to a basic prompt that hey, all the details are already there, all the agents details are already, Replit has it, all the keys and everything. So just simply go and build a conversational agent and connect it with 11 labs. So and connecting it with 11 labs and showing that how easy it is to integrate with an external uh, tool or external software, because conversational agents help you in talking, and then you don't need another doctor or a person on the other hand. So agent can take calls, agent can actually take live calls, they can book appointments for you, they can do tasks on your behalf, same as other agents, other AI agents and LLMs are doing. So it has asked me share your 11 labs ID. You can find it in the labs dashboard. All right, so I have it quickly here. I'm gonna put. So Brandon, in the healthcare domain, have you guys have you guys seen the progress? How do you see it in the healthcare domain with the
Yeah,
Replit and coding?
yeah. I put a couple of links into the chat, and these are examples of people that have built a number of like drug discovery and just research, disease research types of applications in like a more of a university and research setting. Um, I think our team is definitely working towards kind of full scale global HIPAA compliance. I saw the question about that in the chat. Our team will be releasing some updates in that regard, from what I'm told, like closer to the beginning of the summer here. So stay tuned. In terms of the things that I think provide the most value in time savings, this scheduler system is a pretty popular use case. I've had people who are in the OR, and have to make a prescription of what to do post-op in order to have their clients recover safely.
Mm.
And they literally have to say the same exact thing after every single shoulder surgery. And they built Replit apps to actually guide their patients through, what to do at day 3, what to do at, day 10, so that they don't have to take as many phone calls. So you can see those kinds of use cases for very repetitive, very manual, highly specialized, very baked in the subject matter expertise that doctor or that nurse has, being able to use technology to actually have it be more interactive, have it be able to communicate while you're doing other things. Those are the most popular use cases. And actually the billing and the coding systems, at least in the healthcare systems of America, are not trivial either to understand. So how do we build applications that make your treatment and care and the economics of it more understandable for everyday users is also a pretty popular use case as well.
No, that's very insightful what you have shared, and with the same experience, I was in last week. I was in Germany, and I was in a conference, DMEA, for the digital health, and it was very exciting to see people were coming up using Replit and other vibe coding tools, right away, building 0 to 1 solutions at that point within the UN. And we were talking about integrating it with the EHR and EMRs, right? So Folio 3 is officially vendor service partner of Epic EHR, right? So we were in collaboration with Epic talking about how those solutions can be integrated easily within the Epic and embedded for hospital systems, right? So that's and the exciting part was everyone from a CEO to a manager, from technical to non-technical people, everyone was using these tools and trying to showcase that what capabilities do they have. But yeah,
Mhm.
with these tools, as you mentioned, your team is working, everyone is working on bringing HIPAA compliant solutions. For now, I think the best thing is uh, there are expert people in the industry, in the healthcare and technology, who knows in and out of how health systems work, from technology perspective and from medical care perspective as well, right? So I think these companies like Folio 3 and other ones, bridge the gap here. They understand, hey, you have built this product, now give it to us, you take rest, we'll take it to the next level, we'll scale it up, and we will make it HIPAA compliant and integrated with the HIPAA with the EHR solutions like Epic or Cerner or Athena, or maybe any other systems like Salesforce or Microsoft ERP, right? So yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, that's what we do. All right, so the prompt is done and it has done something here. Okay, let's see. Let me close this tab.
You go to the
And
right of this
yeah,
button. Yeah. There you go.
right. So what it does here was it added two tabs on top. One is clinic, and I actually gave the same prompt. If I go back, that let's add two tabs with clinic and patient. And on the patient side, it has given an AI receptionist concept, right? We need to see how it's going to work using the 11 labs, and let's see if it works or not. So I'm gonna talk and let me know if you guys hear the conversation or not. Well, all right. Session, please check your connection and try again. Right. So these kind of errors come in when you're talking, and that's completely okay. You can just take a screenshot, you can paste it on Replit, and you can actually tell me that, it's giving me errors. Yeah. Start conversation button. So you guys see, it's very easy. You're just simply using it, and it's it's gonna look into it. So while it's working on it, I was able to build something a few hours back before this, a few hours ago before this webinar. I'll tell you an agent, if you can see 2 hours back, yeah, right. And I was able to build the same kind of an agent here, and I'll show you this experience. So let's see how this agent works. So, before that, I have, this dashboard, some of the doctors here, along with slots and their availability. And I'm going to go back and let's talk to Sophie.
Hi, thanks for calling Greenfield Medical. This is Sophie. How can I help you today?
Hey Sophie, so I'm looking for an appointment in orthopedics department for next week. Can you share some of the doctor's name and their specialty?
Hello there. I'd be happy to help you with orthopedics appointments for next week. Let me share our available orthopedic specialists and their specialties. In our orthopedics department, we have Dr. James Whitfield, joint replacement and sports injuries, Dr. Sarah Nguyen, spine surgery, Dr. Michael Torres, pediatric orthopedics. Would you like me to check their specific availability for next week so you can see which dates and times work best for you?
Yep. I want to have a consultation appointment with one of those. I'm having severe pain in my left knee.
I'm sorry to hear you're experiencing severe knee pain. That sounds quite uncomfortable. Let me check the available appointments for our orthopedic doctors next week so we can get you scheduled in soon. Let me check the available appointments for our orthopedic doctors next week. Based on your severe knee pain, I want to make sure we get you in promptly. Here are the available orthopedic appointments. Dr. James Whitfield, joint replacement and sports injuries, Thursday, May 7th at 9 a.m., Tuesday, May 12th at 2 p.m., Tuesday, May 12th at 4:30 p.m., Dr. Sarah Nguyen, spine surgery, Thursday, May 7th at 10 a.m., Thursday, May 7th at 1 p.m., Wednesday, May 13th at 3:30 p.m.,
Well,
Dr.
Sophie,
Michael.
let's book an appointment with Dr. James.
Great choice, Dr. James. Whitfield specializes in joint replacement and sports injuries, which should be perfect for your knee pain. Let me check his availability for next week.
I think you have already
Ba-
told me. So let's do next week, Thursday, 4:30. How about it?
Perfect. Let me confirm that appointment for you, Dr. James Whitfield, joint replacement and sports injuries, Thursday, May 7th at 4:30 p.m. To complete your booking, I'll need to collect some information from you. Could you please provide your full name, your date of birth, any additional details about your knee pain that you'd like Dr. Whitfield to know about? This will help us make sure your appointment is set up correctly.
Sorry, I forgot. So this is Abdul Moiz, date of birth 29 July 1992. And yeah, I was running on a jogging track and I slipped, and I think I injured my knee.
Thank you for that information, Abdul. I have your appointment details confirmed. Appointment summary: Dr. James Whitfield, joint replacement and sports injuries. Thursday, May 7th at 4:30 p.m. Patient Abdul Moiz, DOB, July 29th, 1992. Reason: knee injury from jogging. Slip: I've noted that you injured your knee while running on a jogging track. Dr. Whitfield will be able to assess your injury and recommend the best treatment plan for you. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding your appointment?
No, that's it. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome, Abdul. Your appointment is all set for Thursday at 4:30 p.m. with Dr. James Whitfield. We look forward to helping you with your knee pain. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. So, this was very shocking for me. With the help of Replit, I think it took me less than 30-40 minutes while I was using it, and I was able to connect it with an external application. And I built a conversational AI agent where I don't need on my back office any receptionist or a staff to book an appointment. I can simply connect it with one of the IVR system right within the hospitals, and they can start calling it and book an appointment with the help of Sophie, and Sophie can actually pull the data, add it into the scheduling system, and send them notifications and emails. So that's the beauty of building solutions with the healthcare systems with Replit and vibe coding tools.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go into the chat and answer the last couple of questions. I've actually got to drop a couple minutes early, but I've left my code in here for folks that want to upgrade to the core version of Replit instead of just the free version that you start with for 12 months. If you use that code, go into the checkout and complete the transaction. I'm excited to see what you build over the next year. Thanks so much for having me. Feel free to grab me on LinkedIn or any of the social platforms. And Abdul and team, thanks so much for inviting me and hosting me.
Thanks, Brandon, for your time. We'll continue from here.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. So, here's the summary of what we built, right? We built a smart appointment scheduling applications, which was surprising to build within 9 minutes. It has operational dashboard and insights. And then we had a live demo of actually an AI voice assistant with conversational agent. Uh, so what's missing and what's next, right? Where we go from here is, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You use the application, you use these kind of tools, and you can actually, build a 0 to 1 scalable product or solution for healthcare or any other domain, right? And then if you want to scale it for the enterprise solutions, you want to take it to a hospital, you want to take it to your consumer where, 100 or 1,000 of users want to use it. What you want to do is that you look for a solution consultant who can help you in scaling up this application. You add from a personal application to enterprise, you add multiple role bases from management to manager to a lower staff members with excess control functionalities that what type of data needs to be shown to what type of role of users. You add security policies, you make design from backend and front end perspective, enhance the architecture, and then you test the application, and finally you integrate it with different healthcare and external systems. And that's where Folio 3 and similar companies come in with certain expertise. Now, how can we help as a Folio 3? If we talk about numbers, we bring expertise with 750 employees around the globe. We have been working in this industry for more than 2 decades. It's been there. And we are partnered with Microsoft Dynamics and NetSuite Alliance partner. We are also partners with Epic, EHR, and we are working with them as a technology partner in integrating healthcare applications within the EHR domain. So we are a one-stop shop with 300 plus ERP team and expertise in AI and healthcare, ERP, e-commerce, and building web and mobile applications. So that's what we are. In terms of the exclusive attendee and bonuses, we have a voucher for you here. So we are conducting a free custom workshop, which is worth $3,000, right? And what you have to do is you just have to scan this QR code or go to this link, which is mentioned here, and just register and give your details so our team can reach out to you. So In this free customer workshop, we'll have a live one-on-one session that's free of cost. Again, we're not taking money here. And then during this workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to map your specific requirements and clinical workflows, what your requirement is, and will help you in building a AI solution for your use case, right? And in parallel, we are giving exclusive Replit voucher, right? That's going to help non-technical user and even technical users, everyone, in building the application. It will have full access. The voucher will be emailed to you guys directly, to each attendee after the session. For that, you need to scan the QR code and fill the form. Thank you for that. And then, with the help of that tool, you can actually build the application. So I'm gonna just stay here for a minute, so you guys can scan it easily. And let's see if there are a couple of questions which we have missed. I like to try the system, break our system scale globally in the modern healthcare. All right. How do we ensure the system architecture will be scalable and performance optimized while we also being economical? Do you typically give performance requirement and prompt? Yes, that's we do. And I think that's what I mentioned in the earlier when I'm talking about the prompt. You have to be precise that what you're looking here, right? So for example, if I want to build an application where I need to show and do testing or beta testing with maybe 1,000 users, so I can explicitly mention this, so the AI agent can understand that whatever it needs to build, it should be built in a way that it should cater 1,000 users, right? So your prompt is the key. The better you write it, the you'll be able to best optimal performance around it. But at the same time, these tools come with a limited functionality. You cannot go to 100 million or 1 million users or 100,000 users directly with this application, because it's going to crash, right? And this is where the technical expert people come in. They take the code because 70% of the job is already done. Now you want to take it to an enterprise level, so you go to a company like Folio 3, right? And you tell them that we have a code base and we want your expertise to in scaling up and giving a performance requirement. So we take it, we scale it up, and we do the rest things for you. uh all right. Once you build it, there is a way you have to test to ensure its accuracy and functionality. Do you need a human to create the test cases? Does it build out its own test cases? How do you determine that is free, functional, deliverable? Great question, Don. So yeah, as I mentioned, if you are already aware of some of the test cases that you think that should be done, you can explicitly mention it in your prompt. If not, you can simply write out that, act as an expert software tester, right? Or a quality assurance engineer. And then with that prompt, it's going to create all the test cases. You can also write down that, hey, generate positive test cases or negative test cases. And then you can simply take those prompts from ChatGPT or Claude or relevant to LLM models, and you can share it to the Replit, and Replit is going to actually do the app testing. So Replit has that model of doing extensive testing for you. Is there a direct way to deploy, write your project to GitHub repo? Yes, there is a way. You can copy paste and you can deploy the project directly from here. So I'm gonna go next. All right, questions and next steps. I think we have already taken questions. We still have 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So as closing and next steps, Folio 3 comes with an expertise of building 0 to 1 scalable solution. We are not just developers. We provide complete consultancy, from understanding your requirement, what you needs to be built, for whom, who your user base is, what's your target market size is. From all these details, we help them in building the solution. You can reach out to us, scan this, and our web details are here. So I'll stop here, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. So if someone has missed Brandon's message, you can simply reach out to Folio 3 for an enterprise Replit license, uh, and we'll share it with you. If anyone has any question, feel free to ask, or yeah, we're good for now. Are there any features for, Integration with hospital management systems or telemedicine. Yeah, so Replit and these tools provide integration and connector flexibility. Now it depends on what APIs and endpoints hospital has provided. So it requires some back and forth communication, and sometimes these tools doesn't handle these kind of integration. And as I mentioned, this is where technical experts come in, like Folio3 and other companies who have expertise around it. Where we get Replit license, you simply reach out to Folio3, and on the website or one of these email addresses, and we'll share the Replit license with you. All right, we're done with the time. I think there are no further questions. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining the webinar. I hope that's helpful. Have a nice evening and take care. Bye bye.